What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Kind of Funny podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Greg Miller, alongside the producer slash seducer, Nick Scarpino.
Thank you. Greg, you missed a banger. We were waiting for you to come into the podcast, and Kevin really wanted to talk about irons with us. And it was one of those conversations where he was like, you guys ever think about like the composition of an ironing board and iron?
I hate how little you listen to any situation.
Both me and Tim were like,
that's not what happened at all.
We're not paying attention to this at all.
Kevin,
we're not
I want to give you a
attention.
chance to defend yourself, but before then, I'll introduce Forbes 30 under 30, aka the second best baby blues of Kind of Funny, aka the verified one at Tim Gettys. Hello, Tim.
Let Kevin iron, I guess, is what they're
so
saying.
Kevin, I already know Nick doesn't know what the fuck he's saying or talking about.
God,
Sure.
What I know is that I've already
comical.
seen iron-related shenanigans on the Kind of Funny subreddit about you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Is that where this really stems from? Is that where this really comes from,
Yeah.
Kevin?
So Tim came in and talked about how much he likes that the only Reddit post I've ever written was a very poorly written thing about ironing
Terrible.
boards. Yeah,
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, it
Sure.
seems
The
right. It's
context
down
for
right now. I can't
everybody-
even bring it up to look at
It
it.
was
but
like
it
I
3
have
in the
awful.
morning when I posted it. Look, I don't need excuse, all right? I'm not known for writing eloquently.
You
We don't
words
call
well.
you Bill Shakespeare for nothing. You know, in fact, we don't call you Bill Shakespeare.
From now
So-
on, can we please call Kevin Bill
Shakespeare.
Great.
Yeah, no
Another
problem.
I
That's the
screenshotted
new Kevin
this.
nickname we're doubling down on.
I'm
I
down for
screenshotted
that.
this because it brings me too much joy that
Thank
I can't lose this.
That's great.
Can we get a
Fine.
dramatic reading, everybody? I'm sorry. This is a
No, I
dramatic
don't wanna
reading of
do this.
one
I
Tim
don't enjoy
Gettys
this. Are you
reading
guys
Kind
listening?
of Funny Kevin's only Reddit post of all time.
I
On the
just said
by
I don't enjoy
KI
this, and you're
700
just doubling
on
it down,
the-
huh?
on the Reddit. Posted the screenshot.
Kevin, I don't enjoy working out, but sometimes you have to do it.
Pickles.
I love that Kevin has a single post
Oh, he
on
said
Reddit.
pickles. Stop.
Kevin's saying
He said
pickles.
pickles.
We're done.
He said
We're
pickles.
done.
Kevin, you are so miserable sometimes.
We
Jesus.
gotta abide by the Kind of Funny safe word, everybody.
Yeah.
Pickles
That is
said,
the
we
word.
stop.
That is the
We
word.
Stop. That is the word. So now we'll move on. Nick, you said you got the rocket launcher and Ratchet and Clank. I'm proud of you.
Thank you. I'm gonna put these glasses on too. But I noticed these glasses, the John L. Ace glasses that he left here, have a little break in this. And I'm gonna tell you guys something right now. They just don't make cheap glasses like they used to. Back in the 80s, you would lose the glasses before you broke the glasses every single
Sure.
time.
Sure.
I don't know.
I mean, you
don't
say
know
that, but look, I'm
about
wearing cheap glasses. These are from like VidCon. I don't even know. 2015, I'll say. All right.
Yeah,
Twitch.
sure. That sounds
Twitch
right.
branded. You know what I mean? And that was a
Yeah.
big thing for me during the move, of course. I had a whole drawer full of cheap sunglasses. And I was like, do I need these many plastic cheap sunglasses? And I had to weed down the colletion to, things I would wear at a PAX Mania or whatever, what have you. A
But
boat
what
show of some
didn't
kind.
make the cut?
But I mean, like right now in front of me, just at the grabs. First off, you talk about cheap sunglasses. Look at these. You remember these jumps?
The jumps.
Remember
were
when
the
somebody
bomb,
sent
dude.
us a box of jumps to the Kind of Funny PO box?
Are they still around? Is jumps still a thing? Did they take over Ray-Ban? Did they buy
Hey,
Ray-Ban?
I mean, can I get a Google search of jumps sunglasses? And can you let me know if they still exist or if they have been wiped off the face of the earth, like most of your enemies, Kevin?
I like to think
Also-
jump sunglasses. Like, you guys know that like Volkswagen bought Porsche, they were and Audi and all that stuff. So
Yeah.
Volkswagen like owns all of the really expensive companies. I like to think of the jump sunglasses like they own Tom Ford sunglasses and Ray-Ban sunglasses and all the other cool sunglasses. Those are the only two brands of sunglasses that like Oakley. They own Oakley and all that stuff too. I could be wrong.
It's not
Real quick, I want to
looking-
give a shout out.
it's
These are
not
actually
looking-
Raw Fury sunglasses. These are Raw Fury sunglasses.
I can't see him, Greg.
Get
I
your
know.
I can't see him, Greg.
jumps.com
I
seems
can't
like
see him, Greg.
yeah, it's not focusing.
Almost. Back.
It's focusing
All
on
the way to
his
your
hand every
face.
time.
All the way to your
It's-
face.
it's-
Put it on your face, and then turn your face left, and then move your face closer. Other way.
that'll work.
Other way.
Oh,
There we go.
there
Raw
we go.
Fury.
No.
What's funny is I didn't know what I was going to expect there. I honestly thought I was like, I think it's just going to say Raw Fury. I could take his word for
Got
it,
the
but I
Raw
still
Fury
wanted
logo.
to see it. I wanted to see
So we
it.
found out jump sunglasses not still kicking. That seems to be the
Yeah,
thing there.
it doesn't look like it's around. They have an Instagram. You click on the website that's linked on there, and it's like this website doesn't exist.
When was the last Instagram post?
Hold on.
No, I was waiting. I like the pregnant pause. You know that.
255 weeks ago. This
Oof.
2016.
Yeah,
Oh,
they're
look,
gone.
good
I think they
jumps.
might be dead.
Oh man, you
Should we
hate to
buy
see
the
it.
Jumps brand and turn them into the Kind of Funny sunglasses?
Well,
Jumps?
no. Clearly, what happens is that Jump sent us all their product, and then just that was it. They couldn't afford the
Sneaky
postage
little
on it. They gave it
business.
all away. That's a
It's one of those things where like this is a walk for me, Greg. So stick with me, okay?
Everybody, I need you to do me a favor. Go to the kitchen right now.
Yeah.
Get out the little thermos. Pour
Yep.
some juice in there.
Pour a little
Cap
juice
it
in
up. Get the lunchbox. Thermos in the lunchbox. Make yourself a little sandwich. I want some wheat bread, piece of cheese, some meat, no lettuce because it'll get soggy, a pickle if you're adventurous, shut it down. Maybe put some mustard in there if that's your thing. Shut it down, put that in a Ziploc, put some Cheetos in there, and I want a fruit roll up. Shut it down. We're going on a walk with Uncle Nicky, and we need to make sure we have food. Nick, what's your question about this walk that we're not even on?
Can there also be an apple in there? But maybe an apple that you don't want, so it just is a little heavy, and you're like, why did my mom put this apple in there?
Here's the thing is, I have a thing about apples. I adore apples. Jen, of course, has turned me on in many ways, but definitely into the Honeycrisp apple that I like to have at least once a day. You know what I mean? But if you know, as you all know, you were there for a very traumatic moment in my life.
Worm.
No, you remember this. It was worse than the worm, remember? Here we are. We're at GameSpot Expo, Vegas. Box lunches. All right, great. A bunch of food in there. Remember, I took a bite of that apple and I pulled back, and it was a normal apple, and then underneath the apple surface looked like a wet scab. The entire inside of this apple was like rotted out. It was, but the outside was pristine. So I'll tell you right now, you toss an apple into a lunchbox, I'm having flashbacks there, and I can't deal with it. You know what I mean? I have to be able to cut this apple up. I want to be able to see what's going on in this apple to begin with. You know what I mean?
I get that. Well, moving on to what I was going to say, which is now going to be incredibly disappointing because it was like a one-line joke. The jump sunglasses remind me of the sunglasses from the Mark Harmon movie Summer School. Remember where they wrote?
I do remember Summer School.
They wrote the
Courtney
essay.
Thorne Smith.
Exactly. And Chainsaw and the other guy were like, my sunglasses broke. And then he teaches them, hey, if you just write a well-written letter and threaten legal action, people will send you free products. And so they send them a bunch of sunglasses that look like the jump sunglasses, like cheap, but kind of fun colors and stuff like that. Remember they had the little mini blinds in one of them, I think.
Yeah, those were dope. Cool. Yeah.
Those are the 80s. Tim, you don't remember the 80s. You never seen sunglasses before in your life.
I don't remember the 80s at all. No.
You don't understand what the 80s look like.
Not even.
What I appreciate about these jump sunglasses is that they're weakened. They're weakened here in the joints because they're the ones that usually get into the wrestling persona. And I distinctly remember wearing them. I say this and somebody will prove me wrong, but the other day, I think when we announced we're having a kid, and there was a whole bunch of, remember, this person's having a child now. It was the one where I beat Andy or I beat one of you clowns in a game, and I took the sunglasses off and I slammed them onto the table, all angry and excited. Not angry, I guess.
God, so many things move when you hit that table. Like your background moves somehow. Like one of the books jostled.
I'm a strong man, Nick. You know what I mean? There's a reason I'm barred. There's a reason I'm barred from doing Brazilian jiu-jitsu. Because they know if I go in there, like, literally, they'll be like, all right, 3, 2, 1, fight, right? And I'll just go slam the ground. They're going to go shut. Oh, they wobble back and forth. That's an unfair advantage. Nobody wants that. I wrestled with the kid. It isn't Mario Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu where you can have super special power-ups, all right? They want it to be boring as hell. Here you go. Get in this thing and throw some punches.
They tried Mario Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu for a good month. It just didn't pick up. Believe it or not.
Honestly, now, Tim, we're on the Kind of Funny podcast. No bad idea is a bad idea. We're brainstorming all the time. This is something we could pitch Nintendo.
The cat suit, I'm feeling it.
Mario MMA, it's them, him versus Peach in the octagon out there, arm bars and stuff, super special moves.
Yeah, that's Smash Brothers. That's kind of what that is.
Piece of wood on me.
Yeah, you get a sliver?
No, it's more piece. It was probably from Porty. I probably carried Porty in. And there was
you got a little dirt on him. A little dirt on him. Oh,
how is he adjusting now? A while into the new place.
Oh man. I'll tell you what.
Night and day.
No. I mean, he's old as fuck, and he knows. You know what I mean? We haven't talked about this, all right? Okay. We haven't caught up in a long time. I'm happy to be here with you guys. I'm happy to be here having a conversation with you. Good. Oh, by the way, everybody, Andy Cortez bit by 2 snakes. I'm just kidding. He wasn't really bit by 2 snakes. Instead, he's terrified to be around me because he realizes I'm going to beat his ass at Mario Golf. He's trying to dodge me as much as possible.
He was fronting earlier today. When you dropped into the chat and we were busting skulls in Valorant, he was just like, you give me this game for like 2 weeks, I'm beating Greg. But he's already setting up the loss. He's already saying, I haven't had the game.
Oh, he's got
I got
excuses.
a sprained ankle. I got knocked out in training, so I don't know if the doctors are even going to let me fight. My suggestion to him was to bring in a ringer. Was to find someone that's so good at this game and then ambush you with that person. So if he does that, I want full credit for it. And I want everyone to call me the king.
The problem is there is no one I'm the top of the mountain. Like this isn't like that thing that whatever Chowder Man that he got all mad on the show when they brought
Steven
in somebody
Crowder.
to debate him or whatever, right? Like there's no one above me in Mario Golf. Like you can bring in I said it in the chat and I'll say it right now. He could bring in Miyamoto and I'd whip his ass too. All right. Like nobody's gonna stop me.
Mario Golf.
Miyamoto, Bill Trinen. I don't care who you bring out right now.
Phil Miyamoto.
Bring out anybody else. There's just another name on the list of people Greg Miller fucked up at Mario Golf. You know what I mean?
There's someone out there that'll hand you your fucking ass. There is. There's got to be someone out there, a dev for the game, a best friend who's like, I've worked in this game for 4 years straight, I will sit in silence and just serve Greg up a side of ass with this Mario Golf.
Want some ass with this Mario Golf?
I want a side of ass, apparently, while I'm playing Mario Golf.
I would do it myself, but I've never played Mario Golf a day of my life.
The thing is, like, don't get me wrong, like, this isn't something where like I'm gonna go into hiding. You're saying this, like, I will be out there. I'm doing the Iron Man 2 Tony Stark. Like, I'm putting my address out there. I'll be tweeting out the room codes.
That did not go so well for Tony. They blew up his house, but I'm too busy now with my new passion, which is Valorant. I'm a Valorant guy. Yeah, it was one with the man with that.
You didn't like Valorant. Right? Shut up. You didn't like Valorant.
It was fun. It was really fun. We had a good time.
Play that tonight. You're gonna play that and not Warzone tonight?
No, I'm gonna play Ratchet and Clank tonight. I'm gonna finish that. Well, I mean, I'm not gonna do either of those things tonight. Maybe on the late night, but tonight we have something that has been 3 years in the making.
Wow.
Tonight. Wow. For the longest time, we start this thing called the morning show. Tim's like, it's 487 days till Fast 9. Then we cancel the morning show and we do a bunch of other shows. Then we cancel those shows. It's been 1,000 days since Fast 9 was supposed to come out in theaters.
14 shows have been canceled between the announcement of Fast 9 and it finally coming out.
It's wild. So my plan for this evening is get there a little early, get a big bucket of popcorn, maybe put a little salt on it, maybe a little bucket, Tim, maybe a little butter.
Wow.
You know, I'm gonna wear my PJs, so if I get the butter grease all over myself, I don't really care. Giant Diet Coke, 2 straws, just in case I wear through the other one in the first 5 seconds. Pop that second one mid-second act. And then I'm thinking like maybe hide some Snickers in Andy's pocket, like the little Snickers mini bites, and keep some Twix mini bites for myself. That might happen.
This is a solid plan. I'm liking everything. Are you
planning on this just shows the dedication, and I should say the lack thereof dedication Andy has to trying to beat me at Mario Golf. You know what I mean?
It's not his fault.
Guess what? He could download the game tonight and start playing it tonight. Instead, what's he want to do? Dominic Toretto. Let's go see what Dominic Toretto's up to. You know what I mean?
He's gonna go online. He's gonna play. He'll probably play it tonight on one of his streams, on one of the Andy Cortez streams tonight.
Then his excuse tomorrow. He's too tired. That's why I beat him. He's too tired.
I'm excited about it. I'm going to be watching from afar. I'll tune in to drop some bombs in the chat. It'll be super fun to buy my drop-ins, and it'll be good. I have no idea why there's a rivalry on this, but I love it, especially since I get to just be a troll.
I don't think Andy knows either.
Yeah.
Andy just keeps me like, I'm not even going to play this game. But Greg just keeps threatening to destroy him.
No, Andy does. All right. He wanted to talk a lot of shit about everybody's golf, and I showed him up there. I destroyed him there, both when we used to play regularly and then when we came out of retirement for some random ass stream, and I beat him there.
What was the golf we did where
I guess that's the thing. If you don't mind shutting your filthy mouth for a second, this is the problem. And this is the power of the sunglasses. This is the power of the sunglasses. I should take them off because if the sunglasses come on, I'm in wrestling persona. You know what I mean? I'm going to be mean to everybody, and I don't mean to be. But the problem, actually, I'll keep them on just to insult Andy some more, and then we'll get back to being
it's fine.
Right?
The problem, this whole episode could be we insult Andy for 2 hours for all I give a shit. People would click on that probably.
It's not that, there's a long-standing golf rivalry with Andy, all right? The problem is that Andy won't just admit that I'm great at video game golf. That's all I ask. Tim, you know Greg Miller.
I
know the characters, the bravado of the sunglasses. You also know the real Greg Miller. And you know better than anybody that when I play most games, I'm not that great at them. I'm not like, I'm never PvP competitive. That's not my scene. That's not what I'm at. You know what I mean? Andy was getting all mad today. He gets all hot and bothered. You know what I mean? And he's sitting there like, well, 1v1 me in Valorant. And I'm like, that's not the point of this. Like, you would kill me in Valorant, of course. I don't play this baby PC game. The point I'm making here is that I'm good at golf, and you just need to genuflect once in a while when I come in the fucking room.
Genuflect. You want him to kneel before God. That's what you
need to fucking understand. All right, like, because it's a great genuflect makes a lot of sense here, right? Because when I enter a video game golf competition, a video game golf realm, I, for all intents and purposes, am Jesus Christ. All right. And I need someone to recognize that. And what do I got over here? I got Andy Cortez, a little Judas, and he doesn't want to even recognize it. So you know what happened to Judas? Jesus beat the shit out of him. And I'm going to have to do that tomorrow. That's what it is. This is Jesus to the reckoning. And I'm happy to correct some inaccuracies in the history books.
I'm gonna rebuttal,
take
please.
these off now because that went places I wasn't prepared for.
That went dark. Can I rebut that for a hot second, if I may?
You sure can.
Your Honor. Judge Gettys, may I offer a rebuttal for that?
Push the bench, please.
First off, you are unbelievably competitive in games, Greg. You're very, very good at a lot of them, and they're games that you've played before, and you purposely chose for us when we used to do party mode. Exhibit A, Nidhogg. You are unbelievably good at that game, which is every bit a game of skill as it is endurance. Because the last game I played against you with that was like 4 freaking hours long, and I was like crying. I'm like, I want this to end, but I also really want to beat Greg. And then, of course, there's the counter argument. No, I think you won.
Yeah, I think so. Didn't think so.
And then, of course, there's a counter argument, which is every time you play Ultimate Chicken Horse with me, there's just something inside of you that dies, and it dies quickly, and you just do that thing where you deflate and you don't want to be a part of anything anymore.
I believe you can. I believe we all remember Extra Life or whatever, maybe Kind of Funny Day stream. I forget what, but I'm good. I'm good at Ultimate Chicken Horse now. I was winning a bunch. Remember, everybody was freaking out. It turned out that I didn't realize you could stop running or something.
Now here's the thing. People, you won. I don't believe I was playing that day. I think when I did come in, you lost one because I am not interested in winning Ultimate Chicken Horse. I am interested in confusing and befuddling every single person in there.
Befuddling was coming. I knew it.
I'm going to confuse and befuddle. Okay, that's what I want to do. And if one of you rage quits, that's how Uncle Nick wins.
100%. Yes. If you break our spirits or our mental capacities, that's how you.
That's the goal. That is the
when
goal.
Mario Party Superstars comes out, Nick. Whatever the maximum amount of turns they allow you to do online, if it's like a 50 turn thing, I want to do it. I want it to be a 5-hour
enduro race
of us playing Mario Party, just with all of that, the built-in frustration that's going to come from that, and just you over time breaking all of us down. Because I can't imagine hour 4.5 of Mario Party with Nick.
It's going to go a lot of places. It's going to go a range of emotions, as the kids say these days, where it's going to be fun. And at some point you're not going to like it. You're going to hate it. And then we're going to bring it right back around that corner, back to fun. That's the specialty of us. Unless Joey's playing, in which case she might actually fucking murder me.
Yeah, that is true. We just can't let Andy win, because then he'll never shut up about it. Then we have this whole situation Greg's been talking about.
I'm going to say something right now. Here's a hot take. Andy, yes, horrible. But I've never seen Blessing win something before until he beat us in Mario Party. And man, he was feeling it that day. So the only saving grace was the next time we played Mario Party, something happened in the game that it just turned on him, and it hated him. He got dead last.
That's Mario Party.
Yeah. But you gotta take the wins. It's the little things, right? When you get that win, you got to savor it, because the Lord giveth, and apparently you genuflect in front of Lord Miller taketh away.
And that's all I'm saying. Is it so much to ask? You know what I mean? Just admit that I'm good at it, Andy. Admit that I'm better at this one genre of video game than you. You can have the rest.
Do it, though.
You can have your Valorant. You can have your shooters.
Genre.
That's what I'm saying, though. Is Andy brings it upon himself. He could just admit that you're going to be better than him. But instead, he skates around it, Tim. He skates around it where he's like, Greg's had the game. He's had the game for so long. And I'm like, but you're not.
And then he put out a tweet today about it, right? Where he was trying to argue. Let me dig it up. Let me go over here.
Dig it up, man. Dig it up.
I have a file on it.
I like that every episode that I have energy for, somehow I manage to steer it to a massive airing of grievances that don't matter and don't need to happen.
Yeah.
So here's exactly how it goes. Andy's whole thing is he doesn't have Mario Golf Super Rush, so he can't be practicing, right? And then a young man named Tom G 1013 _ tweets, honestly, the simplest, most easy to understand answer of all time. Don't you have other Mario games you could have practiced on? They didn't redo the mechanics from scratch, did they? P.S. I'm totally talking out my ass. They may have done the mechanics. They didn't redo the major mechanics. But Andy responds, Greg played Mario Golf for review, and no, I don't have Mario Golf on 3DS or Mario Golf on GameCube to practice.
Can't possibly get it.
As if these are impossible things to come up with. As if I wouldn't lend him the DS. You know what I mean? As if, just play everybody's golf. It's basically the same mechanics. Get out there and hack at it. Practice.
You want Andy, who doesn't have a 3DS, to drive to you, get your 3DS, get your copy of Mario Golf, then go back and play so that he can practice to beat you on an old game.
Again, Tim, just to make sure you're understanding the overarching plot here.
Yeah.
I'm a fucking god at Mario
Yeah,
Golf, all right?
god.
When we get around to Mario,
God.
when it's Mario Golf season like this, fucking Andy should be begging to come over and sniff my fucking blue jeans.
Yeah.
Right?
Wow. Wow.
Oh.
That is something that Andy should do. Winner has to sniff the other one, the losers, or no, loser has to sniff the winner's blue jeans. That's
So a common
has to
thing is that,
happen.
you know, when people are on the show, they get bit by snakes. But what Andy's really doing right now is on the GameSpot charity stream. So Andy's out there for a good cause making money. And here we are coming up with different
We're
scenarios
having fun.
for Greg Miller's blue jeans.
that is everything. That is everything.
I won't lie to you guys. The screws aren't that tight. E3 took more out of me than I thought it did. So this is the kind of emotional roller coaster you're going to get on the Kind of Funny podcast, because this is the Kind of Funny podcast each and every week. 4, sometimes 3 best friends gather around this table, each coming to bullshit about whatever it is they want to bullshit about. If you like that, you can head to patreon.com/kindoffunnygames. No, that's right. Kind of funny. I was thinking about doing a Patreon perk to sniff my blue jeans. No, patreon.com/kind of funny, where you can write in to be part of the show. You can get the show ad free. You can get the show with the exclusive post show we do each and every week. And you can get a bevy of other goods, like getting your name read on the show, like being a gold member and getting all the Patreon perks for Kind of Funny Games as well. You get exclusive shows. You get all sorts of benefits. It's a great time for just a few bucks. But if you have no bucks to toss our way, no big deal. You, of course, can head over to youtube.com/kindoffunny, roosterteeth.com, and podcast services twice a week for episodes to hang out with us and do all these different things. Some housekeeping for you. As we are talking about now, again, this is kind of one of those time capsule episodes. We are mere hours from going to see Fast 9. Hopefully by the time you see this episode, then Fast 9 in review is up on youtube.com/kindoffunny. You'll know if we liked it, loved it, or hated it. We'll review and rank it against all the other ones. Tim, right now, so I get my head on straight too. Tomorrow we're filming Fast 9 in review. That's Friday afternoon, everybody. It's going to go up as soon as possible. We're going to record it, try to get it to you as hot as possible. So you're going to burn yourself. It's going to be so hot when it comes out the oven. Do I need to worry about a plot recap? Usually on the new stuff, we don't do the recaps. Do I need to be like locked in tonight watching this, being all locked in?
Yeah, some level of plot.
Okay, Nick, what's your thing?
I was going to say, what if we got you really drunk before you watch this, and then it's whatever comes out.
I don't want to get
out.
up and pee the whole time, you know?
That's Fast and Furious.
Okay, I'll get a bucket for you. Get a little bucket.
Okay.
Wow.
It's 2021 new movie going experience. Just a guy pissing in a bucket next to you.
I mean, it's just the 3 of us. So can I bring back the idea of the prank? Can we talk about that here? Or is that not going to happen?
We talked about the prank before on the content. Because you can bring it up again.
Andy's coming tonight.
Sure.
And I don't know if the AMC Stubs thing is working. I don't know
Here's
if you can
my
still
thing is
order
I think
things from
now
that.
in the COVID world, I sincerely
do
doubt
it.
they're delivering
Damn
food
it.
to you anymore. We might have missed our chance for a good 5 years. But
I mean,
the good news is that when they return it, when that
Yeah.
returns again, we're going to be able to do that.
Okay, now Tim, you remember this amazing prank, right?
I lightly do. Can you, for the
Nick,
people
walk him
that-
down memory lane.
Yeah.
Here's where we're gonna go. Greg and I sitting watching. What was the movie that we watched? Hobbs and Shaw, I believe. We were sitting there, right? And someone had something delivered to their seat, and Greg's like, "They can deliver things to their seat," and I was like, "I didn't know that either. That's freaking amazing, right?" I mean, obviously you'd seen it, but it doesn't click until it clicks. Tim, of course, Greg and I see this tool and think, "How can we turn this into a weapon?" Right.
A weapon.
How do we turn this into a weapon for our own pleasure and for Andy's or Joey? We thought about doing this to Joey as well, because for some reason we all love picking on Joey, even though she salts the earth. Andy, glad he swallowed the snake and it bit him from the inside out. Couldn't care less. So we thought,
terrifying, bitten from the inside out because he got bit on the inside, but that means the teeth came through the outside.
Through the outside.
Yeah.
Now they can't get it out. They have to go in through his coolie butt.
Well, now they're kind of like becoming one,
Yeah, exactly. So what we thought would be hilarious is movie is about to start 5 minutes. Someone brings Andy some food, right? He goes, "I swear I didn't order this." Like, no, it's I guess it's for you. And then every 5 minutes from there on out, they bring him more food, to the point where it's just so much food at his seat. And we of course film this, not the screen because we don't want to get DMCA'd, but him, and just how uncomfortable he'll start to get when he sees the guy coming through. Basically, I want it to be Pavlovian. So anytime he sees any worker come through a door in AMC theaters, he starts to freak out that he's going to drown in a big pile of food.
I feel like with Andy, we don't even need to go that far. He'll already freak out anytime someone walks in because he'll think he did something wrong because that's just the paranoid type of guy he is.
He is. Yeah,
He's like, oh man, they're gonna get me for not paying for the ticket. It's like, but Andy, you paid for your ticket.
Yeah, you paid for the ticket, Harry.
It's not gonna stop
You know,
we bought an extra ticket.
That's a good question, Greg. A lot of lies going on with Andy Cortez these days. Maybe I don't know.
He could be a liar. We don't know.
He could be lying. We wouldn't know. He could just be that good at it.
He's
Cruising by day by day, just assuming that he's telling the truth. I don't know.
That's a great point. And Barrett's not there to keep him in check anymore. You know what I mean? Today, when Andy didn't show up for the meeting, it was like, we'll text, oh, Barrett's not there to even get him. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. It's starting to spread. Now the lies are starting to spread to Barrett. Now Barrett's not even showing up for things. Crazy. Wow. Yeah.
Well, Barrett said he was going to Cleveland. Like he did everything correct.
Yeah. I bet you think he could be in Denver. We don't know.
That would have been the biggest lie of them all.
That would, could you imagine? Like, I mean, I'd actually rather go to Denver than Cleveland. No disrespect, Cleveland, but Denver's fun.
No disrespect, except I just disrespected you like that.
I'm not saying that it's bad. I'm just saying I prefer one of the. It's no disrespect to burritos, but sometimes I want pizza. Yeah, Greg Miller from Kind of Funny. It was a terrible analogy, Tim. You don't have to chuckle at it.
We went to Denver.
Yeah, Colorado
for something, right?
We went for that PlayStation thing. It was like a thing.
Yeah. We all did go for that PlayStation.
It was fun.
We were all a little is that your only experience with Denver? Is that what you're basing?
Wasn't that Boulder?
No, I think it was Denver.
Okay.
Boulder, I would have made more Big 12 jokes.
So it couldn't have been.
True.
Yeah.
No, it was Denver. And I remember I hadn't been to Denver outside of the airport. So then, but you don't really have you been to Cleveland? Like, do you have a grasp on Cleveland?
Oh, never once. No. Oh, yes. No, I've never been to Cleveland. I have been to Columbus, is what I'm thinking of. Sorry, not Cleveland. Cleveland, I've never been to. So
Cleveland's got the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
That's a plus. That's a huge mega plus right there. I was supposed to go for the documentary, but I couldn't go that weekend because we had something else going on. So I think we had our New York meet and greet that weekend or something like that. So I was going to pop over to Cleveland from New York, but Tim was like, that sounds like a lot of plane flights, and we'd rather party with you in New York. And I was like, you're right. And it was the right choice. Sorry, Cleveland.
Do you have a horse in this race, Timothy Gettys?
I'm not a big fan of either, to being honest. I haven't been to Ohio, but it doesn't seem like a up Tim's alley type of thing.
I'm tweeting out Cleveland or Denver and why, because we need. I don't feel like I have enough information at my fingertips. Again, going back to what we were talking about before, right? Greg knows what he's good at, and he knows what he's bad at, right? And I'm greats at Mario Golf. Am I goods or greats at Cleveland or Denver? No, I don't know shit about any of these places. You know, what I remember about Denver. Is we went out for wings or whatever, and then the Uber driver crossed on a railroad crossing that was dinging that there was a railroad, there was a train.
We almost died,
and I flipped the fuck out on him. You know what I mean? Yeah. So like that's what I remember about Denver.
Mm-hmm.
And then I remember there for a while.
My memory of Denver was going to a horrible dinner with one of Gia's friends with her shitty ex-boyfriend at this point, and me and Kevin getting in a huge fight with him because he was insisting, like very passionately to a point that we weren't arguing this hard, that Castaway is a bad movie. And that Castaway
the dumbest fucking thing I've ever heard in my goddamn life. Tim, I'm getting all heated to hear you talk about it.
Wait. Let me hear it out. What is it worse than? Yeah.
Than The Phantom Menace.
No,
he presented that argument. He just presented that
he was saying
to us.
Castaway was a worse movie than The Phantom Menace. That's not true. That's not true at all.
Yeah,
and
he was like angry about it. To the point that then me and Kevin, of course, didn't handle it.
You got to go double down.
I feel like we defended a righteous movie. I think we did what we were supposed to do.
Well said. Here's the thing about Castaway is I don't think about Castaway. It was fine. It was a fine movie. But you can't in any way, shape, or form. If you said, Nick, you'd have to watch Castaway twice or Phantom Menace once, I'd be like, twice. I'm going to watch Tom Hanks lose weight or gain weight, depending on how he did it, twice. Because that was cool. That was the coolest part of that movie.
I'll tell you, you're going to think I'm joking here, but I've had a hankering, I was saying, the last 8 to 9 months to watch Castaway again.
You had a hankering?
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm always on a hank. Oh, first off, fuck me. You know what? Let's wrap this up. Castaway, a great film. Saw it in the theaters and enjoyed it. It's one of those I catch partially on a TBS or something every so often. Would love to see it from start to finish. I'm always got a hankering for some Hanks. How do you feel, Nicholas Scarpino?
Yeah, that's me.
About this Turner and Hooch reboot with the kid from Josh or Drake or whatever the fuck his name is.
I don't know too much about it. I think we read a story about it a long time ago where we talked about it, but I can't recall.
Let me give you the pitch.
Yeah.
And Tim, what is it, Josh or Drake?
Drake and Josh.
Which one is it?
Which one is it?
Drake. Josh.
Thank you.
What is Drake and Josh? What's Josh and Drake? Is that a Nickelodeon?
Would
thing?
do you even recognize anything? It was one on this show. Nick, this kid was on it, and he was a fat kid like you and me when we were growing up, right?
Oh,
and now he is slimmed down and he is hot, and like everybody was like it's a big deal. He's been hot for a while though, so like people think of him hot. It's kind of like the Neville kid.
Oh,
remember him? Isn't he hot now or whatever? Like people like him, long bottom or whatever.
He's like hipster hot, where he does. He's like, you're like, oh, he's like brooding but smiles.
Sure. Anyways, so here's the fucking plot line for Turner and Hooch. They put out a trailer yesterday for this Disney Plus show. Terrible CG in it. Looks like it'll be a complete piece of shit. But the plot line to it, Nick, is that it is a sequel to the Turner and Hooch movies.
Oh, so it picks up where the dogs leave off.
Josh/Drake is Tom Hanks' son.
Oh.
And here's where we're gonna get into it, because I watched this trailer when Eric Goldman put it out, and he was like, "Oh my gosh, like this is cool," and I didn't realize he was actually doing this. I was like, "All right, cool." And I watched the trailer because it's like, oh, it's a continuation, and this is Tom Hanks' son. I was like, oh, okay. And I'm watching this. I'm like, so are they gonna wait for the season finale for Tom Hanks to show up? Like, when do they drop the giant paycheck on him? Right? Because it's his sister brings over the new Hooch. It's like, here's the oh, mom didn't tell you, I'm bringing that. Like, all right, this is dad's dog, and you're gonna take it. Okay, cool. And it's the thing. And then at the end, there's a letter from Tom Hanks that they're giving to him. Tom Hanks is dead in this universe now. They killed him off screen or whatever.
Smart.
But this is, and again, I'm gonna watch the first episode of this objectively awful show, I'm sure, because I need to know how they at all write themselves into this corner. Because the deal is that the sister shows up and gives him the dog that he's never met before, and then the letter is like, hey, this is a dog that I the dog gave me, my Hooch gave me everything fucking that, made my life what it is. I mean, indicating you and your mom, you know what I mean? Your sister. And like, I want to give you that kind of balance. And like, and when they drop off the dog, they're like, oh yeah. And the dad said the dog was just like his Hooch. It's like, it was like Hooch was back or some shit. So like, to keep you in any frame of reference from what this trailer has taught me, picture on your deathbed, Tom Hanks.
Yeah.
Who is so cool. We'll say states away from his son.
Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
You're on your deathbed, right? And obviously you're surrounded by your family. Greg, you're having children, so you maybe have grandchildren. Do you see Tom Hanks and then tell everyone to immediately fuck off? Or do you like wait a couple seconds and be like, I want to spend my last moments with Tom Hanks?
Oh man, if Tom Hanks walks in and I'm dying, I'm like, I've said everything I have to say to you people.
Yeah, fuck
Tom
off.
Hanks, I got lots of shit to say to you. Get over here. Let's start with bosom buddies.
How was Wilson really on set? Was he cool?
Okay, so stick with me. Back into it. But get back into the scene. Get back into it.
Right? With bosom buddies, the very first thing he did.
That bachelor party. I want to talk about all this shit before we get to the fucking Hanks phenomenon that we live in now. Yeah. Anyways, in this Drake, Josh, Hooch universe, Tom Hanks, the dad, right, on his deathbed, I assume, at least terminally ill, goes to the pound. By happenstance, there is a dog there that looks exactly like his fucking dog, Hooch. And then he's like, he spends enough time with this dog to be like, this is my version of this is Hooch. Hooch is back.
Now,
then realizes he's so close to death. No one calls his son to come over. Realizes he's so close to death, pens a letter to his son that's like, hey, the dog gave me balance. It's going to give you balance too. Seals the letter, dies. Daughter or sister drops off this thing at the kid's house. What the fuck? And I know family relationships are hard, and I know you can be estranged. It doesn't seem like they're estranged in what they're saying here. I don't understand how Tom Hanks knew he was so close to death that no one called the son home. And if the son did come home, how did he not meet the dog? There are some plot holes in this fucking trailer that I need to watch episode 1 to figure out.
Here's what I'll say, because I've only seen Turner and Hooch maybe 3 times. I believe I watched like 3-4 years ago. It's cute.
That got me too, Tim. That got me too.
What's that?
I've only seen 2.
3 is such a funny number. How many times you've watched Turner and Hooch? That to me is either I've seen it once or I've never seen it.
No. I've seen it. I've seen it probably 3 times because I saw it in theaters. I'm sure I rented it once or saw it on TV when it came out.
Sure.
And then I did just watch it like 2 years ago on Netflix because it was on Netflix for a hot second. Because sometimes I like to watch those movies and be like, oh, I remember this very fondly. Does it hold up, or is it incredibly boring, or in most cases incredibly inappropriate humor? Turner and Hooch, I remember being just fine. It was fine, right? It was an interesting movie. To very classic Tom Hanks during his earlier years. But if I'm not mistaken, and this is huge spoilers for Turner and Hooch,
Yeah.
I think Hooch dies at the end, but has puppies. Does he not?
I don't know if I've ever seen Turner and Hooch. That's a trailer I've seen back
Because
in the
I
day.
think-
You rent something else from Blockbuster, you put it in. Tom Hanks and this fucking dog we're not friends, but when the cocaine shipment came in, now they gotta fucking do.
I think the dog was a witness to a crime, and he's a cop, and so he has to take care of the dog because the dog's the only one that knows what the murderer smells like or something like that. It's been a while since I've seen Turner and Hooch.
Spoilers for Turner and Hooch, the movie that came out in 1989.
Mm-hmm. Year of your
I'm going
birth.
to read just the final paragraph here. Scott races to Emily's clinic to tend to Hooch, who has suffered severe blood loss and eventually dies.
Because of a
I'm
gunshot.
never watching this movie.
Yeah.
Later, Turner
Sad.
is made police chief, while Sutton becomes leading investigator. Turner also marries Emily, with the couple now caring for Camille and her litter of puppies, one of whom looks and acts exactly
like Hooch. So what I'm thinking is they just kept this dog's bloodline going for the last 4 decades. And the son is like, I've had enough. These dogs are horrible, miserable creatures that destroy everything in my house and drool literally over everywhere. Dad, I've disowned you. And then finally he's like, as a big fuck you to my son, because we've never liked each other, I'm giving you this damn dog. Now, he could have done what Tom Hanks should have done in Turner and Hooch and just let the dog go. Just let it out into a forest, let it go kill whatever it's going to find. But then I guess you wouldn't have a movie.
Holy shit. The original director of the movie was Henry Winkler.
The Wink.
That explains it.
And it ended up being Ron Howard that came in.
I was going to say, I feel like it's like a Penny Marshall, Frank Marshall, Ron Howard sort of thing. That was back when
the good news is
really
Reginald Vell Johnson is in Turner and Hooch, the new series.
Oh, I might watch it then.
Good.
I love Reginald Vell Johnson.
Who doesn't love Reginald Vell Johnson? You kidding me?
If you do, I don't want to know. If you don't love him, I don't want to know.
A series as a sequel. Weird call. I get the Disney Plus is like, fuck it, we're going to do anything we can. And they're trying their best to get a Disney series going that's not Star Wars or Marvel stuff. But
good luck with that.
That this is the way to go. But maybe.
It's definitely one of those you look at and you're like, who is the Turner and Hooch audience that's looking for this?
I thought you were going to say, who is the Turner and who is the Hooch? I was like, I think Hooch is the dog, right? I think Hooch is the canine.
Oh, okay. Hold on. Here, I'm going to give you the premise. This gets even more fucked up. Premise: U.S. Marshal Scott Turner inherits an unruly dog named Hooch, who may become the partner he needs. Together, the partnership, alongside the rest of Turner family, discover that his father's death may not have been accidental.
Oh, he's trying to solve his
So
dad's
now
murder.
he's not even okay. Maybe that makes more sense then. I went with the truly dark tale. I guess Tom Hanks bought the dog or whatever, gets the dog, and then he's like, I'm going to give this to my son next time I see him. Writes the letter ahead of time. Maybe he was going to see him really soon. And then it happens there.
Maybe.
You're not buying that one? You're not buying that one yet?
No, I'm sorry. I spent the entire time, I was sort of listening, but I spent the entire time you were talking, looking at pictures of Tom Hanks in his little blue underwear in a scene in Turner and Hooch that I remember as a kid being like, those are really small underwear that he's wearing. This is not big. I'll try to find a I just clicked off it. I'll try to find another picture for you.
Very small.
They're very small.
It's an interesting thing because like why we were just talking about like who's the audience, why would they make this? But even more than that, it's like if you're not going to get Tom Hanks at all, which maybe they are, maybe there's some flashback scene or like if the death was faked or some shit. But like
it's gonna be one of those things where he's talking to the ghost.
I just don't know how this is going to work. And now I say that, which is in direct opposition to some facts that we've seen recently, which is Cobra Kai works, and they just couldn't have Mr. Miyagi if they wanted to.
Yeah, he had passed away, unfortunately.
Yeah, so it's like the fact that Cobra Kai is as good as it is, and it doesn't have Mr. Miyagi. Maybe Turner and Hooch don't need no Turner. They need the Hooch.
But even, I mean, like, there was like
then you just got Hooch.
There was the thing, Karate Kid. That was a thing. People loved and connected with that throughout the years. Cobra Kai shit happened forever. When's the last time somebody in passing was talking about Turner and Hooch?
I mean,
like,
in my circles, we do talk about it a lot.
Who's fucking subscribing to Disney Plus right now, being like, "Oh yeah, I was on the fence with all the fucking Marvel and Star Wars shit, but now I find out they got a Turner and Hooch show."
They go through the catalog of all the shit that Disney owns, and they go, "What just has a little bit of name recognition? What can we just take that was a beloved memory from Nick's childhood and just cram into the ground?" And speaking of beloved memories, Kevin, I slacked something to assets. If you could bring that up, these are the underwear that I'm talking about that Tom Hanks wore for.
Please, Kevin, bring these up for sure.
It's a solid 5-minute scene that he's walking around in these underwear, and it reminds me of my dad used to wear underwear like this, and I always just thought, I was like, it's just. There's no modesty in this underwear. You're not really leaving anything to the imagination.
You did not slack me that. This is
just what did I slack you?
Turner and Hooch the series.
Oh, I apologize. I thought I selected the Google search. I thought so. Hold on. Let me find you the right thing. Here, hold on. Here we go. This is better. Sometimes the Google search slacks work, and then it doesn't work. There you go. Try that second one.
Well, Nick preps that. Let me tell you, of course,
Christ,
that
so
we
small.
have Patreon producers. Oh, here we go. Hold on. I want to see these. I want to see.
Hold on.
Tom Hanks' junk here.
3 of us here, 4 people.
Yeah, that's really small. Yeah, but that was the style back then. You bring it up. My dad,
Yeah.
I remember wearing underwear like
my
that
dad
too.
wore those too.
They were like Speedo. They were like not even tidy, because tidy whities were like thicker on the sides. These were like Speedo.
Yeah.
Like
I'm really
underwear
happy we moved
that
past these.
basically just slung your banana in a hammock.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I
And
want
they were
Tim to see these. So.
All right. Well, we can leave it up and we'll wait for it. Now, while they do that, I'll talk about the Patreon producers. Of course, we got Donovan Harkness, Joshua Schroeder, Delaney Twinning, Julian the Gluten-Free Gamer, Steve Powers, Donovan Harkness. Today, we're brought to you by HelloFresh, Stamps.com, and Babbel. And hey, I'll tell you about them right now. This podcast is brought to you by HelloFresh. What is HelloFresh? With HelloFresh, you get fresh, pre-measured ingredients and mouth-watering seasonal recipes delivered right to your door. Skip the trips to the grocery store and count on HelloFresh to make home cooking easy, fun, and affordable. There's something for everyone to enjoy, with all recipes designed and tested by professional chefs and nutritional experts to ensure deliciousness and simplicity. Enjoy a wide variety of easy, delicious options for 3 meals a day, plus every snack and special treat in between with HelloFresh Market. Of course, ladies and gentlemen, I'm Greg. I love to cook, and one of the things that got me started on cooking was these kind of packages, right? HelloFresh sends you the pre-measured ingredients. You get the instructions. You pick ahead of time what sounds good. You don't have to think on the day of. You just go straight down the checklist. You make something good, and you learn how to cook. You learn new methods. That's why I love it. Right now, ladies and gentlemen, you can go to HelloFresh.com/morning14 and use the code morning14 for up to 14 free meals plus free shipping. Again, that's HelloFresh.com/morning14 and use the code morning14 for up to 14 free meals plus free shipping. HelloFresh, America's #1 meal kit. Our next sponsor, why, it's Babbel. This summer, get the most out of your travels abroad by learning the language of the destination you're going to with Babbel, the #1 selling language learning app. From ordering in restaurants or asking for directions to gaining a deeper understanding of the culture, Babbel makes the whole process of learning a new language addictively fun and easy with bite-sized lessons you can actually use in the real world. Babbel is a can't-miss travel essential. I'm not even traveling with it. Instead, Jen's mom from the one and only Quebec coming down here. I've been using Babbel. I signed up for Babbel. I'm gonna see if I can talk to her a little bit more in French than usual, because I usually can't, but I've been doing Babbel because, unlike the infamous language classes you took in high school, Babbel designs their courses with practical, real-world conversations in mind. Things you'll get to use in everyday life. With Babbel, you can choose from 14 different languages, including Spanish, French, Italian, and German. Babbel's speech recognition technology helps you to improve your pronunciation and accent. Right now, when you purchase a 3-month Babbel subscription, you'll get an additional 3 months for free. That's 6 months for the price of 3. Just go to Babbel.com and use the promo code MORNING. That's BABBEL.com, code MORNING, for an extra 3 months. And our final sponsor of the day is Stamps.com. Ladies and gentlemen, are you still going to the post office, still paying full price for postage? Well, thanks to Stamps.com, you don't have to anymore. Mail and ship anytime, anywhere, right from your computer. Send letters, ship packages, and pay less, a lot less, with discounted rates from UPS, USPS, and more. Of course, when we were still in the office, one and only Joey Noel was using this to mail out all sorts of stuff for Patreon. We love Stamps.com. Stamps.com brings the services of the United States Postal Service and UPS right to your computer. It's a must-have for any business, whether you're a small office sending invoices, a side hustle Etsy shop shipping out orders, or just navigating this hybrid work life. Stamps.com can handle it all with ease. Stop wasting time going to the post office and instead go to Stamps.com. There's no risk, and with our promo code Kinda Funny, all one word, you get a special offer that includes a 4-week trial plus free postage and a digital scale. No long-term commitments or contracts. Just go to Stamps.com, click on the microphone at the top of the homepage, and type in Kinda Funny. That's Stamps.com, promo code Kinda Funny. Stamps.com. Never go to the post office again. All right, here comes Tim.
Here comes the
Got it.
Tim.
Doobie doobie. Here
Hey,
comes
he's
the Tim.
Doobie doobie.
All
We
right, Tim,
love
we wanted you to see Tom
Doobie.
Hanks's underwear here.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
I'm very
important.
happy. I'm happy you saved this for
We
me.
saved it for you, Tim.
This is something special.
They're great, right?
Him and
That's
that
when he's
dog.
yelling at the dog for being loud. He's like, "Why did you stay out there? You can't stay out
Oh,
there."
it's like, put on some fucking pants. I always feel awkward even just walking around Moose when I'm that exposed. I'm
Moose
like,
likes it.
he doesn't deserve to see
Come
this.
on, no,
Has Moose seen you
don't.
naked? Has Moose seen you naked?
Moose has seen me naked. Yeah.
Yeah, he's seen it. Has he seen all of you?
Yes,
Okay.
he has. Nick.
Cool.
I don't like how you said all of you.
I don't either. Also,
don't know
you
what I
said
meant
that
by
after
that.
asking, has Moose seen you
Seen
naked?
you naked.
So what more are you adding? Like, are you saying has Moose seen his asshole? Is that what you were
Yes.
asking?
Yes.
'Cause I- all right, thank you.
I'm asking. I'm just wondering if at one point Tim, like, here's in my brain, this is how it goes. Tim's naked, right? Very seldom naked. Because Tim, in my brain, Tim's a never dude. I don't know why.
Sure.
But he's naked in this, right? And he drops a quarter. And he's like, or a peanut of some sort. He's like, I don't know if my dog has a dog allergy. I got to go underneath my desk to find this peanut. Moose rounds the corner with a hot coffee in his hand and just pours it out as he's staring directly through Tim into his mouth.
Whoa.
Oh man.
We should
There
do
is
these
an
more
energy to
often.
this podcast, and I am here for
There
it.
certainly
I'll let you know
is.
I'm here for it.
Anytime you want to
Tim,
talk about Turner and Hooch for 3 hours, Greg, I'm your man.
Thank you very much. Tim, I have a question that I think you are uniquely prepared to answer. Are you ready?
Yes,
No, that's a good one. Jacob Graber writes into patreon.com/kindoffunny and says, "Hey guys, I'm getting married outdoors on Sunday, and it's going to be a blistering 109 degrees Fahrenheit
Not
at
worth
our
it.
venue in Oregon. We're going to have lots of water and stay in the shade as much as possible. What I want to know is, are there any good hair products that keep my hair looking good and styled and not falling from my inevitable sweat?
No.
Also, is this what Hot Boy Summer is?"
I mean, this sounds like taking Hot Boy Summer a little too far. I would say the blistering heat of 109 is preferred over freezing cold weddings, because I feel like freezing cold outdoor weddings are for some reason a thing that people do.
Have you
And it's like,
experienced it?
you need to stop this.
I
Oh
have.
yeah.
It's insane.
And,
It's
like,
so cold. Like, bring
infamously-
blankets. Bring blanket. You figure it out.
Wait. So, like, are we talking snow on the ground outside weddings? you've been
No,
to?
just
I've
like
been to-
40 degrees, and they're just committed, and the wind is blowing. Maybe it's like 50 degrees, but the wind's blowing, and it feels like 35.
The results are you get a bunch of pictures back and everyone just looks miserable.
Sure.
And it's just
'Cause
like,
they are.
well, that sucks. 'Cause
Yeah, I
you're,
went
looking
to-
you're looking back at your wedding and everyone's just fucking shaking, you know?
The
Not
wedding
good
I went
stuff.
to in Colorado recently, people stood up and walked away.
Just went
which
inside.
I thought was crazy. I mean, it was like an hour long.
Oh, you can't do an hour long outside in Colorado if it's snowing.
Indian, like
Yeah. Ceremony.
yeah, and so it was maybe 2 hours, but only the second hour was like where the cold really kicked in and the wind really kicked in. It was difficult.
That's just really rough, because everyone obviously wants to be there for you, but if you're wet and miserable and potentially going to catch a cold, that's just not cool. I went to a wedding once where it was snowing on us, and it was tough. But it was only the ceremony itself was like 10 minutes. So everyone was like, we'll gut it out because the pictures are going to look dope. And you know what? They looked fucking dope. There's nothing cooler than a wedding party that look like you're dressed for a nice warm summer day and there's just fucking snow falling behind you. It was super cool.
Now here's where Jacob's actually live. He's watching on patreon.com/kindoffunny. He's here in the chat right now going, and he says this: "Thank God we have a tent for the reception, but the ceremony is under the sun."
Yeah, I mean,
that
you're in for a world
is
of
going
hurt
to be
there,
a
man.
fucking nightmare, Jacob.
Yeah, that's going to be tough.
You got to make sure you drink water and make sure everybody else drinks water and tell everybody not to lock their knees. That's how you pass out.
That's
at
how
a
we
wedding.
pass out.
Don't lock your knees. Keep your knees loose.
I told you the stories of band camp. Every year, a freshman would pass out. We'd take bets. Don't lock your knees. We tell them.
Yeah,
And
don't
they
lock
would.
your knees.
The advice I would have for you for the hair product is I have multiple hair products depending on what type of day I'm going to face. And I do have one that is for the extreme weather conditions. Not my favorite to use every day because it's harder to get out of your hair at the end, but it does keep your shit straight. I actually have it in right now. It's the Old Spice pomade.
Oh, pomade's the way to go, probably.
That's what I
That's
was
the thick grease, right?
This Old Spice one, it's more of like a really thick cream that you put on. Like I normally American Crew is my day to day, the American Crew pomade, which I like because it's a little bit lighter. But if you're trying to have your hair not move, no matter what, the Old Spice pomade is what you want to use, and I think it'll serve you well. But it is just a pain in the ass to wash out when you shower.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Snowbike Mike.
Welcoming to the show is the one, the only, the master of hype, Snowbike Mike. Hello, Snowbike Mike.
Yo, what up, dudes? Thanks for the call up. Happy to join you.
Anytime. We like having you here, and we have a question that we need a little bit of information from you on, all right? Tim has tackled the question about the hair, all right? But what's happening is we have a kind of funny best friend, Jacob Graber. Jacob writes in and says, hey guys, I'm getting married outdoors on Sunday, and it's going to be a blistering 109 degrees Fahrenheit at our venue in Oregon. We're going to have lots of water. We're going to stay in the shade as much as possible. And then he went on about a hair question. But Jacob giving more information over in the chat, Snowbike Mike says this, thank God we have a tent for the reception, but the ceremony is under the sun. Snowbike Mike, long before you were the master of hype, Snowbike Mike, hanging out here, working at Kind of Funny, doing our daily streams on twitch.tv/Kind of Funny Games, you were a Kind of Funny best friend and a Patreon supporter who did calls with us and would often try to teach Tim the values of sun safety. Can you give Jacob some top-level sun safety tips for this wedding day?
Ooh, Greg, thank you so much for inviting me into this because my passion is sun safety. And Jacob, thankfully, I have been listening in. And I love all the advice the team has given you. And I'm going to actually one-up everybody here because I got a vision, Tim. And I know you're a visionary. And I think you can see this in your mind right now. If we're going outside and we're going to be in the sun for this big reception, I got a cool idea. And I think this could be a fun one. Now, Tim, you know I love umbrella hats. And I think it's a great time. But the issue is not quite formal, a little bit off the wall, a little too wacky. So here's what I'm thinking. We get on Amazon, we find cool colored umbrellas for cheap, right? Something easy, Jacob. And what we do is we hand them out to each guest and or couple. So when we get the zoomed out shot, Jake, everybody's going to have this beautiful array of umbrellas in front of you and your lovely bride to be. And in my mind, I'm thinking this could be something cool. This could be something different, kind of like flowers at the tables, but colored umbrellas for the reception. That's my idea.
I like it. I like that a lot. And you're right. Like the normal umbrella hat is what you kind of imagine when I say those words, which is that colored, rainbow colored going around thing. But if you type in formal umbrella hat, thank you, Kevin. Can you add formal to the image search there?
Tim, I already did. This is formal umbrella hats.
Thank you. We do have some good options here that aren't necessarily wedding appropriate, but they're a little bit closer. This could work.
Oh, okay, that's fancy.
That's a huge. I mean, if you go with that hat, you're gonna. First off, the hat makes you, for some reason, want to eat Lay's potato chips.
Oh.
Yeah, or some sort of. It just makes me want chips. Second, no, I lost that one. Here's my question for. Is he still in the chat? How long is the ceremony outside?
Jacob Graber answers my question, which is the same as Nick's question. He says 25 minutes tops, aiming for 20.
Nice.
Aim for 15.
Yeah, but we're getting sunburned in 25.
25.
We're getting
toasted. I would go in there. and snip some of that out. Maybe give us 15 minutes outside.
12 minutes in and out.
I was at a friend's wedding the other day, and it was 7 minutes long.
That's great. That's all you need. Do you? Does anyone object? Actually, they don't even do the objections anymore. Did you write your own vows? Say it to each other when you go inside. Okay, just kiss each other, get a couple pictures. Because here's the other problem too: is that you're gonna have to take pictures outside too. So you're gonna have all that time. You got another hour in that heat for the photos afterward. Just things to keep in mind.
Take the photos beforehand. People do that.
That would be smarter if you could do that beforehand, before the sun really hits the apex. You could also do somebody might brings up a great concept that you could actually do umbrellas. You could. I don't know if you're at a hotel or whatever, but a lot of times, even in the heat, they'll pass out umbrellas.
Yeah, but umbrella during the ceremony, you're going to be blocking people in the back. You know what I mean?
Well, you tell people
Grandma Johnson's in the back. She can't see anything.
That's true. It's a good point.
Short people in the front.
Well, grandma's always up front. You always put grandma up front.
But this is okay. Fine. Sorry. The neighbor Grandma Johnson's there, not by blood. She's just been there forever.
Look,
Jacob used to come over and take cherries out of the tree, and then they'd make jam or some shit. I don't know. They're not close. It's not like their family. Grandma Johnson, she's actually kindergarten teacher, Grandma Johnson.
Okay, so wait,
I got
I'm sorry, they're close enough that they still refer to her as Grandmama Johnson, which is an incredibly intimate, endearing term of endearment. But
I'm just
she's
telling you that the
kooky
name we
neighbor
gave
next
her was
door.
this. Then we started doing. You want to be fucking kindergarten teacher, Mrs. Johnson. That's what you want. How
Johnson.
old's Mrs. Johnson? Everybody.
See,
how old's Mrs. Johnson? Everybody. You don't fucking know. You say grandmama, you realize this is an old frail lady who's
trust me, bro.
baking out there.
Bro. You got Mrs. Johnson that lives next door. She's your grandma's friend, and she smells a little funky. Like that is, you know how old she is. She's like an 85-year-old woman who only showers once every 5 days, and you're like, why is there so much pocket candy in those polyester pants? That's a lot of. There's a lot of Werther's originals in there. And FYI, don't unwrap them before you put them in your pocket, Miss Johnson. Don't do it. They get sticky in there.
Ew.
So here's where
James
I'm
says
at. I feel like umbrellas might not be the right route because they're not fancy enough. You know what is fancy enough? Parasols.
Isn't that just a fancy umbrella?
That's the whole point. No one's going to be mad.
That's what we're trying to do here, right?
Yeah.
Well, that's what I meant by umbrella. I didn't mean like go to the Walgreens and buy them out of umbrellas. I meant like
No,
a nice
your
white
idea
parasol.
terrible. Tim's great.
Okay.
Tim?
Okay.
Proud of him.
Perfect.
That was a good idea.
Tim, great.
I'm going to
Nick's
put my sunglasses of silence on.
If you Google wedding parasols, there's a whole bunch of options that I think would look really, really dope. And I like what Mike was saying about having a bunch of people with the umbrellas, but this way it solves all the problems. Everyone's happy. All of these people are smiling. Not a single person here upset.
And Nick Scarpino from kindoffunny.com and Jump Sunglasses representative.
Can I take off the sunglasses of silence?
Sure.
Can I speak, please? Thank you. Now, I like Mike's idea about the hats, but could we take that one further and just do the beer hats where it's the 2 cans of beer with the straws? Because I feel like then people get hydrated. You get a little bit of shade from the sun, and you can get grandma fucking whoever this random stranger is that we refer to as Mima. You can get her hammered.
Nick, that's a great call. Jacob, how open are you to having a Truly and/or White Claw themed wedding? Because I bet you they could make a lot of these hats and just start throwing them out to you and the family.
Make this happen. We can make this happen.
I don't know if we're gonna turn around in time though. You know, that's the big thing.
Mm-hmm.
Did you give a date and time for this?
Sunday. He's getting married on the surface of the sun this Sunday.
109 degrees. It doesn't matter what the date is. It's just terrible. It might be hard to get some of this stuff delivered by time just doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't work anymore. That's really hot. I don't know if the last time you've been in 109 degree weather, it is like oppressively hot to the point where you're like, I cannot move.
Yeah,
it's so hot. And then people are in like suits and shit.
Jacob, it's gonna go fine. Don't worry about it. It's gonna pass.
No, you'll be fine. People will
have a great time. People can handle it for 20 minutes. Don't you worry about it.
They're gonna talk
let these
a lot
guys
of
get
shit.
you down.
As long as
they're
behind your back. Definitely gonna talk shit, Jacob.
Behind your back.
Oh yeah, they're gonna be miserable that you did this.
Yeah. It's terrible.
But that's not your fault.
Yeah, they'll be like, I've never seen a bigger indictment from God of a wedding. You know what I mean?
They're going to be outwardly congratulatory.
What do you mean inwardly?
No, I'm not going to say it. That's too mean. Jacob, you're going to be fine.
You're going to have a great time, Jacob. We're having fun. We're proud of you.
I'm just teasing you.
Go have some fun. Snowbike Mike, while we have you two, Denver or Cleveland and why?
Oh, Denver over Cleveland. Cleveland sucks.
Mike used to live in
Colorado. Why?
Yeah.
What? Have you been to Cleveland?
Yeah, I hear their rivers catch on fire.
Is that a thing? That's real?
Can't argue that.
Yeah,
how does a river catch on fire? Did I miss that story?
Yeah, that's just what I heard.
What I heard, man.
Cleveland hasn't been cool since LeBron left. Yeah, I'm from Boulder, so yeah, Denver's way cooler than Cleveland.
Yeah,
I got a little hometown bias there, but like nobody likes Cleveland. Nobody talks about Cleveland since straight up LeBron left there, and he left for a good reason. He went to Miami instead. He didn't want to be there no more.
Oh God, Miami would be so much.
As Cleveland emerged as a major center of manufacturing, the river became heavily affected by industrial pollution. So much so that it caught fire at least 13 times, most famously on June 22nd, 1969, helping to spur the American environmental movement. Since then, the river has been extensively cleaned up through the efforts of Cleveland city government and the Ohio EPA. In 2019, the American Rivers Conservation Association named the Cuyahoga River of the Year in honor of 50 years of environmental resurgence.
That's good they cleaned it up. It's sad that it takes us to a point where water can catch on fire for us to kind of care about the environment.
Water at it. That's like somebody like that's crazy. They were like,
guys, I don't think it's like it's probably like a massive grease fire. They're like, I guess our only choice is water. More water on the fire, I guess.
The only touchstone I have to Cleveland at all is the Drew Carey show.
Yeah, of course.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Which like I don't know if that's a plus or a minus in the grand scheme of the debate of it versus.
I mean, I love the Drew
Colorado.
Carey show. First off,
Moon
wasn't
over Carmine, bring my love to me tonight.
wasn't that '70s show set in Cleveland or set in Ohio?
Yeah.
Oh, doesn't he scream
Hello,
that?
Ohio.
No, I thought it was
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Milwaukee. Oh, it was
It
Ohio.
might have been Milwaukee. It might have been
Okay, I don't
Milwaukee.
know. Whatever.
We love you, Cleveland.
We love you,
That's what they say.
Cleveland.
Yeah, Cleveland has
like
the Rock and Roll
Cleveland.
Hall of Fame and Drew
Mhm.
Carey.
Okay, well
A
that's
lot of
Those
this
are
I know
bad
from that
things,
Bowling
though.
for Soup song too.
Yeah, they're not bad things.
And
Yeah.
here's what I'll do right now. I'll
Good-
run you
good
through some
taste.
of the responses we've gotten on Twitter, where, of course, I asked Cleveland or Denver and why. Here's what we've got going on, right? A lot of lame answers.
Maybe we should have screened these before we started.
Well, I mean, it's a live show. What do you want me to? Zabe says Cleveland is closer to Columbus, where Jenny's ice cream is from. So that's good.
That's fair.
no.
Is
Do we
live
know
on Twitch
Jenny's
says
ice cream?
Denver. The scenery alone puts it at the top, but it's booming right now, and our beers are on point.
I mean, I
That
have to
70
give points
shows
to Denver on
Wisconsin.
this.
Wisconsin. We were all wrong.
Danley says Cleveland, great restaurants, and there are some amazing museums to visit. With all due respect, Danley, terrible answer.
Yeah.
I think we could probably go to any major city and say, man, there's some great restaurants and amazing museums around here.
Mhm.
And I would say, yeah, there's great food everywhere, and museums are for dweebs, you fucking dork.
You
Right?
fucking nerd.
Ooh, let me see this dinosaur. I wonder if it's different than the dinosaur I saw in Chicago.
Oh,
Nope, still dead, you know?
there's bones under those feathers? And they had feathers. They did not.
Ooh, you know?
Test.
But people, yeah.
Some of
Lone
them
Wolf.
did.
Lone Wolf says Denver, Rockies, Mile High Comics. Okay.
Greg, if I can segue for a hot second, while
Lay
you
it
get
on me.
while you get better answers from the community. 'cause these
I
answers
literally,
are
as you
absolutely
said that,
terrible.
I closed the tab and moved away because these are all
Perfect.
terrible answers that make me want to go to neither place.
You said something earlier that really struck a chord with me,
I'm glad.
and it's got me a little scared, which means that I have to probably leave in about 20 minutes for the theater. You said like, hey, what do we get snack wise? You said something about like people that work at the theater and whether or
Yeah.
not they're going to be able to do stuff for us, right?
Sure.
When I went to see A Quiet Place, I kid you not. Now, hopefully everything's open back up now. Hopefully AMC is able to staff their theaters a little bit better. There was one person working there.
Yeah.
And it was like one of those, it was like a comedy where you go to the thing and the guy that takes your ticket is also the guy that's doing the ride, is also the announcer. I was like, the guy's like, what can I get for you? And he was just, this poor guy was working his ass off. And to be fair, like we got there, it was totally fine. But I hope that they have people there that can service us properly.
Where did you
Because-
go? Did you go to a real movie theater? or
I
did you
went
go
to
like
the
little-
Century 9 to see A Quiet Place because I love that theater. We saw A Quiet Place there. And there was one guy and he was like, I'll be right with you. And then he literally got all of our shit, all the shit for the person in front of us and the person behind us, and then said, okay, guys, let's go this way, and walked us over to the cash register and then checked us out. And I was like, dude, you're doing everything. I'm like, are you going to go check us in for the tickets? And the guy's like, no, there's going to be someone else over there. But he was just holding down the like concessions area. I felt bad
God
for him.
bless him. You know, that's what
I thanked him. I was like, dude, fucking thank you for this. Like, I was just looking forward to popcorn and a diet soda for a long time. He's like, I got you, bro. And I was like, you're my fucking dude.
Tim, I feel like you've been going to that newer theater, but have you gone to other theaters too? What have you found for theater workers?
I mean, well, there's been a new theater that just opened up, and I've been there twice now.
Gotcha.
But like, they're still in that opening phase of like everyone's literally training.
Yeah.
So it's like they're doing their thing. I'm not trying to get in their way. But what I am very excited about is tonight we're going to the proper Dolby Atmos theater, which
Right.
is
We're going to a
making my
better
voice
theater.
return.
Yes,
I'm
the
very
projector
happy
is still
for Fast
on.
9. Oh, can't wait for it.
So dark.
But
It's
I-
black. Man.
I love it because when the tickets went on sale for Fast 9, the Dolby wasn't there, and I was like, something fucking is up. There's no way this movie's not going to be playing in this auditorium. And so eventually, I was just refreshing the page every day. First thing I would do when I wake up was refresh the page to make sure that
Your
me and my
dedication to
squad
the craft is astounding to me.
is
Tim.
necessary, guys. It's
Astounding.
necessary. Every day, refreshing.
why I have
refreshing. It got to
PS5.
a point I was getting nervous about it because we're getting kind of close. So I called the theater.
Nice.
And I was just like, hey, I know you don't have the answer to this because it's a very specific question. But do you know why the Dolby Theater is not selling tickets for Fast 9 yet? And the guy was like, you lucked out and are actually talking to the one guy that cares about this at all. And they're like, we're holding off with the COVID stuff to see the restrictions on like how many blockings we have. It's like with Fast and Furious and Black Widow and all that coming out, like we want to make sure we're doing this right and can get as many people in safely. So we're holding off. And he's like,
Good.
well, like keep an eye on it like the next day or two, because like it's gonna pop and it's gonna pop for all of them. And I looked at it, I was like, all right. Next morning, boom, there it was. I'm like, let's fucking go. We got tickets for Dolby Atmos for the rest of the year, baby.
That's amazing, dude. Well, first off, I'm shocked that you actually got to speak with a live human being that works in the building that you're going to.
I was shocked.
That's
he was
unbelievable.
so cool. He was so great, giving me so much inside knowledge. I'm like, hell yeah, I know what's going on now with this shit. Should make my life easier going forward.
Huh.
Mike,
Yes, Greg.
what's your favorite Tom Hanks movie?
Don't ask Mike that question. He doesn't know any Tom Hanks movies.
Was
Tom
he in You
Hanks
Got
transcend.
Mails? Was he in
He
You
was
Got
in You
Mails?
Got Mail. Yes, he was in You Got Mail.
I like You Got Mail. That's a good movie.
That's a good movie. That was the reuniting of Tom Hanks and Meg Ryan for a second go. And everyone was like, 2 is enough. We don't need a third one.
Joe versus the Volcano, their first time together?
Oh, third. I'm sorry. You're right. That was number 3. Joe versus Volcano. You Got Mail was the second. No, Sleepless in Seattle. And then You Got Mail. Actually, I think it was Sleepless in Seattle, Joe versus the Volcano.
No, I'm looking at the IMDb right now. Joe versus the Volcano, 1990. Sleepless in Seattle, 1993.
Yep, and then You Got Mail.
You Got Mail way up there.
Fucking love
98.
Joe versus the Volcano. It is the weirdest fucking movie ever made, but it's got a fun ending. It's so strange.
I never, and I remember watching it as a kid, but I've never come back to it as an adult.
It's weird as shit. It is so fucking weird.
So I'm looking at Tom Hanks's IMDb,
Mhm.
and obviously, eye of the beholder kind of stuff on this of where you think, can you believe the run of movies here? But I think universally, amazing movies from Tom Hanks, right? And these are going to be in a row, and I'm going to leave out a video short and the TV series where he pops in for no reason, right?
You
Okay.
don't need those.
1992, A League of Their Own. 93, Sleepless in Seattle. 93, Philadelphia. 94, Forrest Gump. 95, Apollo 13. 95, Toy Story. 96, That Thing You Do. 98, Private Ryan. 98, You've Got Mail. 99, Toy Story 2. 99, The Green Mile. 2000, Castaway. 2001, I tossed that out, doesn't matter. And then 2002, Road to Perdition. I don't know what you want to feel about that, but 2002,
pretty good.
Catch Me If You Can.
Yeah, Catch Me If You Can. Great
Are you
movie.
fucking kidding me, Tom Hanks?
Yeah. Well,
What
you know,
a
it's
dominant
funny.
career, and that's one section of it.
I will say we were watching D. I came home last night and Dee was watching The Aviator, and she schooled me on this because she was like, "How many times has Martin Scorsese worked with Leonardo DiCaprio?" She has this thing that we talk about a lot, where we're like, you know, there's only a handful of like movie stars left. There's a lot of great working actors, obviously, in Hollywood today, but there are so very few that like ascend to that height of like they can like everything they do is great. They're iconic. They're great actors, and they disappear in roles. And I was saying Leonardo DiCaprio, we hold as, you know, is one of those people who's just traditionally like puts out great work, does the work to experience these characters. But she was talking about, she just kept naming movies. I was like, fuck, he has worked with Martin Scorsese like 8 times. They've worked together in so many different capacities. Yeah. Starting with like Gangs of New York.
Yeah, Gangs of New York, I think.
They did Gangs of New York, The Departed, The Aviator, Wolf of Wall Street. And I think there's like 2 more that they did together.
I knew it was more, but like I didn't realize it was that much. That's
I think she kept naming. I was like, fuck, you're right. He did do that one. Fuck, you're right. He did do that one. Anyway, I was fascinated by that. But Greg, I'm a little disappointed you didn't start back in Tom Hanks's, the first part of his career where he did Big, which is a movie that it's a great movie until you realize that this kid has been gone for like months. Yeah. And his poor mother is just being tortured by not knowing where someone just calls every couple months to tell him that her kid's okay. And she's like, just let me talk to my fucking son. Where is he? He's going to be fine, Mom. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, no, there's Tom Hanks. I feel like he has a couple personal eye of the beholder things that don't like work out there as well. Right. Or something that I just don't like. They're products of the time kind of thing where I think that you get on a run. But yeah, I mean, if we're going to call out things that are off of it, you know what I mean? Yeah. Big, The Burbs.
The Burbs. My Burbs is my favorite, my all-time favorite Tom Hanks movie. Yeah, Money Pit. I can't watch anymore because it's very, very stressful. But like Tom Hanks he was one of those guys that he was one of the guys that realized right place, right time. I should do a dramatic role right now Because I remember when he did Philadelphia, I was like, what the fuck is Tom Hanks doing? Like, because A League of Their Own was dramatic, but it was still a comedy. And he was great in it because he was sort of comedic relief for Gina Davis's character, who was the main character. But you get to Philadelphia and you're like, that is a fucking hardcore drama about very, very hard subject matter that I don't think he had done anything like that. And then of course you get to Forrest Gump and you're like, Jesus, dude, like you're really, really talented.
But even Forrest Gump, right, was like, don't get me wrong, a serious touching movie, but kind of a comedy, right? Like we were laughing along with Forrest.
Forrest Gump is fucking amazing, right?
Yes, it's a very good movie. Very, very good movie.
I haven't seen it in probably 15 years, but like in my mind, it is a masterpiece.
I would say so.
Okay, good.
I would say, I think it's Robert Zemeckis, right? I think he did Forrest Gump. It's very, very good. But I mean, and then you get to, of course, Saving Private Ryan, and it is, I mean, you want to talk about masterpieces. I think that might be Steven Spielberg's best film. That was one of those I watched in theaters. I was like, holy fuck. I can't believe some people made this. I can't believe we're watching this. This is unbelievably compelling and horrifying and sad. And it's really fucking good. It's one of those, like, when that's one of those movies where it's on, you're like, fuck, I have to watch this whole movie now. And I don't want to. I don't want to relive this, but I have to.
Nick,
correct.
On that, a little bit of a gear shift, all right? Steezy Co writes into patreon.com/kindafunny and says, Steezy Co says, when's the last time you spilled something and made a big mess? Nick, what do you got for me?
Oh, that's a great question. The last time I made a really big mess out of spilling something was at my old apartment. I was eating sweet potato fries on my couch. And I was dipping them stupidly. I had a big plate. Sweet potato fries were on the plate in a little, like, one of those like wax paper sort of holder things that fries come in sometimes. But it was like built into it. They're built into like a box. So they slid around a lot. And I had the plastic container of the sauce on there as well. And I was trying to balance the plate as the fries were dipping. And I was trying to dip in the thing, and the thing just shot. I put a fry in and it shot off the plate onto my couch. And you're talking like a thick mayonnaise based red sauce aioli that stained that couch. And I was horrified because the stains looked like anything you wanted them to look like. They could look like them. And I was trying to get them out for the longest time. And it just ended up with me like basically shaving down 3 layers of one of the cushions on my couch. And it was just never the same. We flipped it. We sold it. Yeah.
That was it. Flip the cushion.
I was like, we can't take this with us. This thing is douched. I mean, we took pictures of it. We're like, this. It's very, very faded and been cleaned a bunch of times, but someone bought it, so it was good.
Okay, Greg, if I may,
Kevin, I'd love for you to may.
Okay, it's just maybe 20 minutes ago. I don't know if you guys heard it or not.
Like,
I yelled "fuck" off camera, like away from my mic in my room in my dining room, because I grabbed Cecil's dog plate. And I was going to put it up on the counter so that the cat can't eat it. And I dropped half of the goddamn food. And it's like, then I have to go on the floor, pick it up one by one. It was terrible. It was terrible. I hated it.
I saw an Instagram reel of someone with 2, I think, pit bulls or like mastiffs, like big ass animals. And for some reason they put down the dog food bowls that were like this big, but they were full of the hard food, but then also like milk. For some reason, I don't know if that's what you're supposed to do or mix them with water or something. I don't know.
You can water or soften it, yeah.
So one of the dogs goes and just starts going for it. And then this other dog, who was clearly the pup, runs over and just full fucking tilt, snout in the thing. And it just explodes all over. And then it looks at it and does the thing that dogs do, where it goes, well, that's all over the place. I'm going to go for the other dish where everything is concentrated. And then it just explodes that one too. So there's just milk and shit all over the place. I'm like, this is why I don't have kids. Right there.
Sure. Fair enough.
Yeah, like 2 weeks ago, I was upstairs. Gia had just poured a glass of wine and put it down to like go handle something, like go to the bathroom or whatever. And I grabbed Moose's hedgehog and I was just playing with him. And I threw it up and I kind of volleyball spiked it for him to go chase it. And it was bad. It went straight to the glass. It slammed into it. And I have never seen something shatter like this, where the wine glass, there wasn't that much wine in it. Somehow it felt like an endless amount of wine, where like the entire living room was just covered in glass shards and wine. And I'm just like, God,
broken glass.
All Gia hears is fucking glass shattering and like splashing and shit. And she's just like, what the fuck is going on?
God, that reminds me. That reminds me. D looked. We had to get all new kitchenware because we never really bought kitchenware at first. We never bought plates and shit back in the day. We just had like 3 plates that we just keep washing over and over again. It was weird. So finally, D like looked high and wide, and she was like, "I just want all white plates and bowls and get everything that matches." And she ordered them. And this was like midway through COVID when everything we were getting shipped to us was broken. So I kid you not, it was like we'd have to order like 16 bowls if we want 8 because half of them would be broken. We'd have to just send back the pieces of it. Finally, she gets a matching set of every single thing. And like day one, I have one of the little plates, which is the plates we use all the time. And I wasn't paying attention. And she said something to me. I was like, what? And I turned with it and hit it against the faucet. And she went, it just fucking shattered. And I was like, I'm going to give you some time right now. I'm going to just go
to my office.
I'm going to go over here. I was like, babe, I'm so sorry. She's like, whatever. So now we just have 7 plates. She's like, I'm not fucking ordering anymore. 7 plates.
For me, the last big mess I can think of for Steezy Co's, it wasn't even mine. It was Jen's. And it was that, we had come back from E3. We landed. It was the first flight in travel. We've done it forever. Land. It's it's me. It's her. It's Portillo. We're all exhausted and like worn out from this travel experience of getting back to the airport and all the shit you have to deal with and all that stuff and dropping off the rental car and yada yada yada. But we get back in our car and we were driving out and I was going to stop at a friend's house and get a gimbal to use for filming a wedding and then all this other stuff. We're driving around and we're like, all right, we got in the car and Jen was just like, in general, both her and I are. If we're hungry, we got to eat because otherwise systems start shutting down.
Yeah.
You get hangry, all that stuff. Add in the pregnancy, and it's like it's an issue, right? Of like we gotta feed this person, and let alone that I was hungry too. But like in general, like it wasn't like that. So I was like, all right, where do you want to eat? We figured out we stop at the cantina out in the Sunset, and so drove over there. Parking wasn't available right in front, so I parked just 1 block up, about like 1 full block up. And so I parked and I got out and. As I'm walking away from the car, I'm like, did I just lock the car? Like, did I just put the alarm on? Because Jen and Portillo were in the car.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't think I did. And I got literally crossed the sidewalk to get to the other thing. And I get a text and a phone. A text. The service sucks. I get a text and a phone call from Jen that are like, that the alarm that's going off right now is ours. So I come back to my pregnant wife and dog in the car. And they're going, wow, wow, wow. I'm like, I fucking shut it off. Sorry, whatever. We'll walk back over there, get the food. Walk back to the car and I'm exhausted. I'm hungry. I just want to sit and eat. She just wants to sit and eat. Get in there. They didn't give her a fork and a knife or whatever. And I got a Topo Chico and it's a pop off top. I'm like, all right, start walking back there. And as I'm walking, I'm like, I didn't lock the car, right? Like, no, I didn't lock the car.
God, you did it again.
And I crossed the sidewalk and I get a text and phone call from her. And I literally exclaim like, Jesus fucking Christ. And like, I start walking back and then like, it finally get to the reception. And it's that she's like, no, it's not that. It's just, I made a mess in the car. Can you bring like wet naps to the house? I'm like, all right, I get over there. They don't have wet naps. They just give me extra napkins. I come back. We get back in the car. And again, Jen's just like, I made a mess. Let's just eat though. So we eat the food. And I'm like, all right, cool. Like, she must have like spilled the salsa like on her pants or whatever, right? And like I kind of forget about it though. And then I'm like, all right, let's go. She's like, no, we got to clean up this mess. I'm like, oh, okay. So I'm like, what do you want to do? She's like, can you just come over and open the door? I need help. I'm like, so I come over and open the door, and yeah, she didn't spill the salsa on her pants. So she spilled the salsa like everywhere. Like it was on Portillo's dog bed or his bag. It was on his leash. It was on her. It had gone like perfectly over onto the door and was in like it had pooled in the door, the thing for the fucking up and down of the window. Cause like, damn, you got this good. Like we are exhausted. We are on the ropes right now. Like cleaned all that shit up and then got the hell out of there. God, it was like the perfect end cap to how because I feel like this is most of the time when big messes happen. They happen at the worst time. You're exhausted. You don't have the bandwidth for this. You're like, fucking God. All right, let's get through this. Brutal. That was my big mess story, Steezy. I'm glad you guys had that. Man. What places as you
messes in cars, you guys know. You guys know me. That's a thing for me. That's a thing I can't deal with. I've literally thought about at each and every point in my life picking up my friends' cars and just taking them and getting them washed. I just want to wash them. Give those little beauties a wash, get them all spick and span. Is it spick and span or spick and spam?
Spick and span.
Span?
Span, not spam. Span, that with an N.
Makes more
I couldn't
sense.
tell you what it means though. Like, what's the origin of that?
I don't know.
Something I haven't heard in a long time. Wasn't there a brand?
And well looked after. There's a brand called Spick and Span Liquid
Spotlessly clean and well looked
floor cleaner.
Well, there you go.
Anyways, I'm sorry, Tim, to answer your question, Portillo's adjusting fine. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been the Kind of Funny podcast each and every week. 4, sometimes 3 best friends gather around this table, each coming to bullshit about whatever it is they want to bullshit about. If you like that, you should head over to patreon.com/kindoffunny, where, of course, you could write in to be part of the show. You could watch the show live as we record it, just like Mike L is, Madeline Stanley is, and Timothy Sunday is. Of course, over there, you could get it with the post show we're about to do. You can just hang out and have a good time. However, if you have no bucks to toss our way, it's no big deal. youtube.com/kindoffunny each and every week, twice a week, for 2 brand new episodes alongside the podcast services around the globe. Like, subscribe, share, get it wherever you want to get it. You know how it is. Enjoy yourself out there. Of course, a big shout out to the person who's getting Jacob Graver, who's getting married. Go break a leg. Don't pass out. Don't lock your knees. Have a good time. Everybody else, we got a post show to do on patreon.com/kindoffunny. Kind of funny. Damn, sorry. Loose screws today. But if you're not coming over there, until next time, it's been our pleasure to serve you.